LEGO released the new Downtown Diner modular on January 1st this year, and of course I bought it and built it. So prior to the release, the community was quite divided. Some liked it and some didn't. To be honest, when I saw the first pictures, I wasn't really a big fan of the set, but it did grow on me. And while I was building it, I actually started to love it. So why, you ask? Well, let's take a look at it. So first of all, this building doesn't just look great in my opinion, it's also just a great build. People who have seen more of my videos know that I hate stickers and repetitive building. And well, there are no stickers in there and there is not a lot of repetitive building in this set. So that's already a big plus in my opinion. And they also used a lot of interesting building techniques in this set. And that just makes it really fun to put it all together. Most noticeable is that they brought back the teal color in this set, and that really works well with all the tan bricks in there. It just gives it something that just stands out. And the teal's mostly worked into the facade and into the curved things. And then they also combined that with two different shades of pink. What you don't really see in the pictures is that teal also comes back in the bricks of the ground floor. And so the bottom side of those walls are in teal too. And in my opinion that works great with the rest of the insides, and I will show you that in like a moment. The facade also features some great windows that actually go around the corner. This gives us a more futuristic style and that works well with the whole diner concept in my opinion. And the door next to it has some prints on it, including the name of the diner, Jim's. And above that there is the diner sign, and that has some fairly easily built letters, but it really looks great. It really fits in with the whole style of the diner. And the front of the building also has some flowers on the floor, on the street, and that actually are some new molds. And I think these flowers just looks great, and I'd love to see more of these in the future. And furthermore, there is a parking meter, but that is just a fun little build, and there is a mailbox. What I especially like about this building is the fact that it isn't just interesting on the front. There are staircases on the side, and that just looks like an alleyway. And then on the back there is also some interesting stuff, which usually isn't the case with these modulars. So there's a trash can, some lovely windows, some staircases, and it just makes the entire thing seem so much more real. Because actual buildings in the real world, they are interesting on the back too, you know, not just on the front. And usually that isn't the case with modulars, but in this case it is, and just makes it look more real and also more of a thing that you can actually showcase instead of just put in your city. So the upper levels are less interesting to look at. I think that is a good thing though. They have some masonry profile in there in tan, and on its own that would look boring. But in this case it really complements the rest of the flashy colors in this build. I mean, if you would make this also flashy or like stuffed with some other interesting stuff in there, it would just be too much. And in this case it balances each other really well out. Now I know a lot of people thought this part was built with a snot technique, but it actually is not. All the bricks are the right side up and they have studs on the side. So with some plating and some tiles you add the masonry look in there and complete the outside of the facade. Well, it's less interesting of a build than most people would have thought, but it's fun and it looks great. And all the way on the top there are some interesting details on the roof. I like how they use the simple round planes to create a nice edge. And there's also a small window that you can open, and there is a ladder going up there so you can actually stand on the roof. So on the inside of the first floor we'll find the actual diner. These walls are kind of high, as they are with all modulars, and well, that means I can't really get in there with the camera as much as I would like to, but I will do my best. So the diner is definitely my favorite part of the build. There are loads of details in there that you didn't find in the older modulars. So all the way in the back there is a kitchen with a chef making some hamburgers and some pancakes. And there's a jukebox with loads and loads of detail. It's almost minifig size and it just looks real. So in front of the windows there's a candy machine, and that in my opinion is a classic part of diners like these, and I just love the look of it. So something that really can't be missed in a building like this is the booth. Usually there's actually like more booths than one. In this case there is only one booth, and oh, that's a bit sad. I mean, it would have been nice to have more, but I guess they just have to work with the space they had. There is another seat, but that is right in front of the door, so I don't think anyone would actually sit there. The booth does look great. There's some food on there, a ketchup and a mayonnaise bottle, a napkin dispenser, and just those little details make the whole thing just look great, even if there's only one booth. So what I don't really like about this is there are some loose pieces in this set. So the second pancake is loose on top of the other and it will fall off easily. And the same goes for the glasses on the bar. And of course you don't really walk around with sets like these, but I would have liked it better if they were stuck in a stud or something. And that's usually how it is with the other modulars, and it makes it easier if you do want to move it around, but of course that's just a tiny detail in here. So if we go up the steps, we'll enter a gym. This is the part I don't really like, but maybe that is because I don't really like gyms in general, but also because I think they could have done like more with this space, even though some of the builds are nice in there. So there's a boxing ring, and that to me feels like they tried to fill up the space very easily. There's also a boxing bag, and that actually moves around. I like that. There are some weights stacked up, and there is a space where you can actually lift the weights. And once again, some of these pieces aren't stuck and could fall down if you move the building. What I really like about this area is the water cooler. It's a fun little build. It just looks great in my opinion, but the rest of the room isn't that interesting to me, and I might just swap it out with something else. However, opinions may vary, and maybe some other people do like it. On the second floor there is a nice recording studio with some very, very cool elements. So once you enter through the door, you'll get in some form of a sort of a waiting area. There's a chair there and a table and a gold record on the wall. And so on the floor there are some simple carpets, and that just look fine. In the back there's a table with some mugs and a bottle of drink, water or something. And of course there is also the area where the producer sits. And I love his control panel. It just looks very lifelike and just has a lot of details in there. Once again, these are all printed tiles. And next to the producer there's also a recording machine, and it just looks great, even with the tape going around in there and stuff. It just looks awesome. And of course there is also a spot where you can actually record the music. So that's where a small microphone is for the singer. Unfortunately no instruments in there. I would have liked that, but I guess I can live with it. Can make them myself, of course. I really love the padding on the wall in this room, and that is to make sure the sound doesn't get out and you get a nice musical atmosphere in there without any echoes. And I love that they actually put this in there, and it makes the whole thing seem so much better. I mean, usually the padding does go all around the room, but the fact that they put it in there, it just looks great. The roof is not really that interesting, doesn't need to be though. There are windows that can open, there's a stair that leads up there, but there's not really anything to see there. I do think you can get like a nice overview of the city though. The set also comes with some minifigs, of course. There's a chef with a nice looking face, pretty standard though. A waiter on roller skates, and I absolutely love that. I mean, a 50s diner and then people on roller skates, and yeah, that just works. I love that. I think she's also wearing a new hairpiece, and I think that really looks good too, because well, it just really gives you that 50s vibe. For the gym there's a boxer with a mustache and shorts. I think that face is also new and looks fine. I love that he's also already wearing boxing gloves. And there's also a trainer, she has two faces. One of them is happy, the other one is sweaty. I think the sweaty face is new as well. And I just like her outfit. So in the recording studio there is, well, some form of a manager and of course a singer who, well, to me kind of looks like Elvis. And he has a new singing face, a lovely jacket on his torso and a guitar. And on the back of his head there's also a smiling face, which looks fine, and on the front, in my case, there's the singing face. Love that. What you'll notice, of course, is that these aren't the usual classic faces that you get with the modular sets. So for the first time LEGO decided to leave those out, and the designer actually gave an explanation for this, and it was published on the Brick Show. And it said, over the past 10 years our modular buildings have evolved in many ways. We've added more interior details, more storytelling and more emotional triggers, such as unique decorations on the windows and minifigure torsos. We feel the time is right now to bring the minifigure expression in line with all the amazing details now offered throughout our models. We have also always loved the classic smiley face for its versatility and nostalgia value, but are now excited to explore the new possibilities expressive faces will offer us. So I just guess they want to innovate more with the new building style and, well, the new minifigs. I did love the generic classic faces. These look good as well. And if you want to read more about this decision, you can check out the link to the article. I just left it in the description, so it should be there. So finally there is a car in this set. I do have to say, I don't really like the cars that LEGO makes with these modulars. The limo with the Palace Cinema wasn't that great, and this one is also not that great. However, of those cars, this one is my favorite. It kind of looks like a 50s Cadillac, and I like that. I like those cars, and it has the tail wings and everything. It's pink. Looks nice. So overall, I think this is a very good modular set. It's definitely a new style that LEGO has decided to go with. That will be, well, something to adjust to for most people who collect these buildings. But after 10 years, maybe it was time to go a different way. I mean, a lot of these buildings have a 20s, 30s kind of style, and you can't go on that with that forever, because, you know, no city only has that style. That just doesn't happen. So maybe some versatility is good. I love the diner. I love the recording studio. The gym, but I can easily swap that out. I really love the color combinations in this set. Yes, it's new, and yes, it's something to get used to, but I think it works well, it complements each other well, and it just goes well with this type of building. So, for the people who are curious, you probably want to see it next to the other modulars, so I have put it in my street. I think it looks okay next to it. I might start a new street with the new buildings in it, so the different styles can stay together. I can imagine more people will do that, but if you do want to keep them together, like the old ones and the new style, it's definitely an option. It looks fine, even though the style is different. But in a real city, like I said, buildings with different styles sit next to each other as well. So in a way, maybe it even makes your city look more real. Maybe you do want to add an alleyway next to the stairs or something. I put it next to Palace Cinema with the street there, so it works a little bit better. I have heard people talking about making some alleyways with graffiti and stuff like that. That could work too, but I think, yeah, I think it looks well in the city. So that was it for me today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time.